I'm not entirely certain what's going on. Hello. Hello everybody, this is Spud. She is a Bengal. Yes. She really is a Bengal and that tiny. She's so cute. I've straightened my leg and I don't want you to freak out. Yes, okay. Today's video is my advice to other cat sitters. I'm eating her hair. You want to make sure that you have a sick day plan. So it is absolutely no secret that I have chronic illnesses. I have not once missed a day of cat sitting, never once missed a booking, but it is so good to have a plan for just in case. This doesn't have to be I just feel like I can't get out of bed, or oh, I've got the flu. It can mean if you end up in hospital and you can't do anything about it. So have a plan in place so that someone can cover your bookings. That can also be somebody to drive you if you are too unwell to walk. What are you doing? What? Excuse me. If your mobility is not great, it can also be an emergency taxi fund. Yes, it can. Sorry, my cat voice is ridiculous. I also have friends that I can message saying, hey, I'm on my way into hospital, come get the keys and I'll tell you where the cat stuff is. But I haven't so far had to use that, but I do have plans in place, just in case. My next bit of advice is to always ask for feedback. So, hello. Hi, yes. Can I have some feedback off of you? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? The purse suggests that I might be. So cute. Do you want some treats? I'll get some Dreamlies. Yes, so always ask for feedback. So I usually do this in the form of like, hey, please don't forget to give me a 5-star review. And then if somebody doesn't want to give me a 5-star review, I can then lead into what can I do better next time. Hello, yes. Sit. Sit. Good girl. She's so cute. So you can also ask, hey, was everything okay with the cats when I got back? And if they book you again, you can just check and say, hey, was everything okay last time? Is there anything you want me to do differently? And that just helps you to give somebody the best sitting possible. Work out the most efficient route to the house. Whether that's by bus, by car, by walking, by train for some of my clients. Just find out the most efficient way, because sometimes the cost of getting to a client visit is more expensive than the money that you're making. Sometimes you won't break even because the cost of travel can be quite high, especially if you are chronically ill and you don't have the ability to walk places. That is always something to keep in mind. If it's a regular client that you do often, you're just not going to break even this once, it might be worth doing. But if it's a new person and you're going to be massively out of pocket for doing the booking, don't say yes to it, because it's not sustainable, and at that point you are just paying to look after somebody else's cat, and it also helps you get to a place quicker. I have to be extra careful of cat bites because my skin scars really badly, so even a tiny scratch, so it looks like I'm being a wuss. But that comes on to my next point. My next piece of advice for wannabe sitters is you will get bitten and you will get scratched, and you have to be okay with that risk. I obviously am, because I've been doing this for a while, it happens, but if I can avoid it, I would obviously like to do that. It's not the end of the world. Even if you have a cat that has bitten you aggressively, it's gonna hurt. You have to be able to ask yourself the question, what did I do to make this cat feel uncomfortable? Because cats can get anxious. Excuse me. Excuse me. Cats can get anxious when their parents aren't home. It can be a very stressful time for them. So if they've bitten you aggressively, it might not be a personal thing. But learn to get comfortable in other people's homes. So it's a question I actually get asked a lot, is do I feel awkward in people's homes? And I know that I did a little bit when I started, but then I noticed that cats can tell when you don't feel at home, when you're not comfortable. So if you perch on the edge of the sofa for the entire booking and pet gently and don't go and hunt out for toys and places where they might be, they will know. And as I've already said, they get stressed when things aren't normal. So one of the best things you can do for these cats is to just make yourself at home. The people clients, they're not going to mind. They want, like by and large, they want you to feel at home. They don't want you to feel awkward or uncomfortable, because that's just not going to lead to the best cat care. And I feel like she's quite comfortable in my company right now, because I'm quite chill. Get a paper diary to manage multiple bookings at once. Excuse me, you just had one. Because phones aren't reliable, alarms don't go off and stuff, but then if you have them written on paper, I know on Cat in a Flat, they also do have dates that you need to be there, times, AM, PM, overnight, etc. But it's always helpful to have a paper diary just as an extra backup. And then you can physically see overlapping dates and times, and you can schedule your day better. It helps with the route planning as well. So if you're not coming from your home, if you're coming from another cat booking, you'll be able to see it, so you can plan the most efficient route. Be flexible on price. So I've spoken about breaking even and having regular clients. If you have a client that normally books you for an overnight, and then suddenly they're booking a morning and an evening, so they book like the evening and then the morning of the next day, sometimes that's because they can't afford it and they're going to something that they can't really avoid going away for. So I have had some clients that have health problems like me, so sometimes they end up going into hospital. I think I've talked about this before. And sometimes they do just need me short notice, or sometimes they have to go away for an appointment and they have to get a cat sitter in. So I'm flexible on price when it's clear to me that somebody needs it. So they would love to be able to afford an overnight visit, but they just can't. I offer when I can. I can't always, but I offer when I can. And that's not to say be taken for a mug, because a lot of people will try to get a discount. And they'll try and lure you in with things like, oh, I've got a kitten, will you do it for like £2? No, I won't, because I need to cover travel costs, and it needs to be worth it for me. So just be prepared to be flexible for people that need it, especially your regular customers, because you want them to keep coming back. Lots of these. This is very helpful. You can use it to calm an anxious cat, to keep on with the training that owners have given the cats, like her sits.
Sit, sit, good sit, good sit.
And there is Bonnie's paw.
Paw. Stop trying to lick the treats off my hand. Ta-da! Yeah!
So yeah, these are your friend. Do your research. Learn about cat behaviours. And I'm not saying go full hog and become a cat behaviourist, but it's really helpful to know when cats are really anxious and the not obvious signs of anxiety in cats and how you can fix it. Excuse me. And learning what's aggressive, what cats need to be left alone. Good sit. It's just helpful to know. So if you've got like a scared cat, you don't want your cats to be scared. You'll just be able to create a happier cat for the owners to come back to you, and then they will book you again. Always have a plan to get a cat to a vet if necessary. So I've talked about asking for vet's informations, but you definitely want to know how you're going to get the cat to the vet. And that can be somebody to drive you, the bus route, having an emergency taxi fare, just ready in case you do have to get a cat to a vet. Anything that you can just get them there as soon as possible and get them seen. You don't just want to be panicking at the last minute, being like, oh God, I have to take this cat right now, and not know how to do that. Or not have the money to do that. Offer reduced rates to cats you can learn from. So when I was kind of new, I had never given cats medication before. And somebody contacted me saying, oh hi, I've got a cat, she takes medication every day. Do you have experience in this? And I said, no, I don't, but I'm willing to learn and I will offer you a discounted rate if you are willing to show me this and give me this experience. And she was a little hesitant at first, so I offered to go, meet with her, see if I can get the pill in the cat, and she was amenable to that. So I went. She taught me everything about the pills, the cat, and how to get the pill into the cat. Gave me the pill, said, here you go, put the pill in the cat. And I put the pill in the cat and she said, okay, yes. What discount do you want to offer me? So we went from there, because a lot of people don't want to teach the cat sitters. They just want the cat sitter to come ready prepared. But there's not really a way to do that if nobody is willing to be the first. So make sure that they have an incentive and that they are comfortable that you can now do the thing. It doesn't have to be medical, kind of really important that you get it right. It can just be, hi, do you have experience with blind cats? Or do you have experience with deaf cats? Or cats with social anxiety? Sit. Oh, dropped it, look, it's here. So yeah, it can just be stuff like that. Yeah, no, you're beautiful. My final piece of advice is to be confident and be competent. So just come in, make yourself at home. When you're in the client interview, just make fuss of the cat. Don't be too reserved, just be comfortable and competent. Excuse me. She's purring, I don't know whether you can hear it. But just be confident in what you do, because cats can tell and you'll just have an easier booking and they will book you again. So that is my advice for other cat sitters. Don't forget to like this video, especially because Spud is so cute, for all of those good sits. She has got me trained. Drop a comment below for any other cat videos you want to see. Subscribe to my channel for more cat videos. I'm trying to do one once a month, but there are quiet months with cats, so whenever, I suppose. Ring the bell so you get notified every time I post, so you won't miss a cat video. And I'll see you next time. See ya!